Hey guys, welcome to the video. Really excited to have Griffin here, who is working with us at Lovewell. Griffin, thanks for being here, man.
For sure, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to kind of have people get to know you a little bit better and understand number one who you are as a person, who you are to me and everyone on the team, but also like really what your role looks like and maybe some of the lessons that you've learned kind of on your investing journey. So um, I did this with Cindy. I think it'd be good to do with you. Like when did we start working together? This was
I
back.
think May of this year or last year,
Yeah.
2025.
Okay, so we're coming up on basically half a year. A lot's happened since then. It's been a
Yeah,
lot of, I would say, a lot of progress and a lot of hurdles as well, which we can talk about. But the
for
one thing
sure.
I could say about you just before we get into the video is that you are the most, number one, loyal, but also consistent person I think that I've met. Like you're very consistent, you're very loyal, and I talked about this in the last video with Cindy. It's like you're the type of person that I would give my credit card to and like trust that you're going to do the right thing. You know what I mean? And like
I
that's
don't
hard. That's hard to come
know.
by. No, it really is. And so
I
for
appreciate
anybody
that.
here that's watching this video and you hear kind of the stuff that we're going to talk about and you hear everything that Griffin has learned over the last 6 months and that we've learned together, just know if you're looking for somebody to connect with, somebody to do deals with, somebody to land on private deals, whatever it is, I vouch for Griffin. Okay, so there we go. Now, Griffin, I guess like maybe start with this. Like, how did we meet? Like, kind of share that story and kind of where things began.
Yeah. So I think a few pieces of context is I started my investment career when I was in community college and I was learning about stocks and kind of dove really deep into that and found the ins and outs of stocks and the best way to invest, and I was kind of a nerd when it came to all that stuff. So went to school for finance and I was just nerding out outside of school, and so I fell in love with the idea of investing and started putting my own money to the stock market and doing all that, and overall just came to love the idea of it. And then I guess one way or another, I started learning about investing in real estate and like the Burr method and fix and flips and holding long-term rentals and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, like kind of like you, I was a stock guy and no one could tell me different. But
Yeah.
then I just learned everything and I was like, all right, this is kind of the way to go. And um, then from there, fell in love with real estate. My dad was a realtor,
Mm-hmm.
so I thought it was a good way to start a career, at least figure out if that's what I wanted to do. And I got my license, became a realtor in 2023, and at that time I was 19 years old, and got taken up by a realtor group of professionals, very exclusive, small group, and they taught me a lot. But
Yeah.
from that point forward, when I joined the team, I was just hammering the phone, just cold calling,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm 19 years old. Like no one is no one is
Right.
buying a home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I was just trying to connect with random people and build relationships, and that's the way I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I did it, I was doing a little FISBO and expired listings, but I mainly did circle prospecting,
Mm.
which for anyone that doesn't know, it's essentially like you have a software where you make a circle on a map and it just pulls all the data of like homeowners information. And then I pulled up the dialer and started calling. So
Yeah.
that's
Dial
really
away.
where my cold calling, dude, yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah.
That's where my cold calling journey began. And it was very unsuccessful because no one had any pain points.
Mm.
And
Can you
so
talk?
I
Can
was
you
just,
talk more about that real quick? When you say they didn't have
yeah,
pain
I
points, what does
mean,
that mean?
dude, I was calling people who are like sitting down for dinner at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And they're like, yeah, not looking to sell anytime soon. I'm happy where I am. And so I was just having conversations with people who didn't have any motivation.
Mm.
And it was just kind of pointless. I think, if I stuck with it for a long time and I built those relationships and followed up, eventually they'd be ready. But no
Yeah.
one's like, I don't have someone who's ready to, pull the trigger right now. And it just took a long time. There was not much fruit from that.
Yeah. Well, I think that, one question I would have for you, and I think maybe the audience may have, is like, okay, yes, if you stuck with it, you would be successful. Like, I'm confident in that. Because, like, that's the
Yeah.
type of person you are. Like, you work hard at it and you're smart and, like, you'll figure it out. So, what was it about the agent side that you said, well, maybe this isn't worth sticking with full time and trying to grow this thing? Like why the investing side?
That's a good question. I think my heart wasn't in it.
Hmm.
Like, since I had that background of investing, I loved it. And when I was a realtor, I was learning about investing in real estate, and I just saw that it was so much better. And once I really got a good grasp on the knowledge of real estate, I kind of had commission's breath because
Hmm.
I didn't have any money as a realtor. Like, I wanted to get money so I could invest it in real estate, but
Yeah.
that doesn't come across well when you're talking to clients. And I'm like trying to close a deal. It just
Sure.
wasn't working out.
Tough.
So my heart really wasn't in it because I was thinking so much about something else and I was reading books on it.
Hmm.
Um, and that's where it all went downhill. So
Gosh.
decided, well, actually, first of all, I had an open house and this dude told me, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but um, I met this dude who just came by and essentially he was buying or helping people buy short-term rentals. And I guess he was like a middleman or something. And
Hmm.
after the open house, like I closed down and he stuck around and we talked for like 45 minutes. And I was just kind of picking his brain. And he was telling me about LLC strategies and all these things. And he was just a very knowledgeable dude.
Yeah.
And he told me what I've been trying to focus on and get better at is creative finance. And I was
Hmm.
like, what is that? He was like, when you get home, look up Pace Morby. And
Wow.
I'm the type of dude to not take those things lightly. Not like this dude's very smart and he knows what he's doing. So went home and I looked it up and found out about sub two and seller finance and I dove deep into it.
Dang.
Dove deep.
What was your first
Yeah.
impression of like creative finance when you first like heard about, oh, you could take over a seller's mortgage and they leave it in their name, or oh, you could structure a seller finance deal and they're willing to finance you over whatever terms you agree to? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, seller finance sounded more legit because it's, an agreement between two people and, the terms can be made up. But with a bank and taking over payments, I was like, is it legal?
Yeah.
And, my dad's a realtor. I was talking to him and he's never heard of it.
Uh huh.
And he said it sounded like a scam as well. And then the more I learned about it and in the legalities, I kind of came back to him and told him, and he asked me question after question, and I
Hmm.
was like, I answered him, and he was like, yeah, I mean, sounds legit if this is correct.
Yeah.
Um, so at first it was very fishy, but the more I got to learn about it, it made sense. And then I started connecting with people like you
Hmm.
on Facebook and things like that, and I saw that people were doing it, and then that's when it really came real to me
It's like
that people are
either
actually doing
either
it.
this guy Evan and his friends are going to jail forever, or
Yeah,
this is
right.
actually
What's he
legal. So
scamming? Yeah,
we'll yet to see. Yeah. Like, so for the people that are watching this though that are thinking like, well, like that does kind of sound sketchy. Like there's a mortgage, they leave it in their name, but then you get ownership and you make the payments. Like, does it go through an attorney? It's like, okay, yeah, we could get in the weeds and answer all those questions, but that could take 5 hours to go through all of that. So I guess the
for
question I
sure.
have for you is, why do you feel like it was worth it to keep digging into that and find out if it was even legal? Like, was it because it was so powerful? Like, what was it for you that caused you to want to go down the rabbit hole?
It's a good point. I think just because like I was a young dude and I didn't have money,
Hmm.
and like I mentioned earlier, I was trying to generate money to invest.
Yeah.
This way, people talk about having no money down or little money down. That
Hmm.
really stuck out to me. And
Mm.
then also at this point, I think this was 2023, so the rates were high, and I was like, even if I did acquire capital and I were to do a project like that, the rates are so high, how could I cash flow? Doesn't really make sense.
It's a good thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. There's a
So
lot
that
of,
just seemed like a way that I can get my feet wet and start acquiring some properties.
yeah,
And then that's when I dug deep.
for sure. Yeah. So, at some point down the line, we started working together. And it was funny because, and I won't share the whole story, but um, we had kind of known each other, and then like we ended up kind of like reconnecting because there was like a deal that kind of like went south, and like we were both working on it together, right, to fix it, right. I'll
Yeah.
keep it there, but we ended up working together to fix it, right, and you got paid a fee, and we got paid a fee, and it was great. We worked out, and then like towards the end of it, um, I think that we really connected over like values, and I think that was really important because like it wasn't about like, oh, like how much money am I going to make if I work with your team. It was like, I really love the way that it seems, at least, that y'all are actually trying to help people because you have a heart for that. Like you have a heart
Yeah.
to really want to like help people and like change lives. And I've seen that firsthand
Absolutely.
because there's been times where we could do a deal and we could kind of try to force our hand. But like you even told me, like I just don't think that's best for them. And that's like the kind of people that we need in the real estate space, you know. And so I think that we really connected over that, which was great. So when we first started working together, like what was like maybe one of the biggest challenges like getting started when it came to calling sellers directly, maybe for the first time at a high level? Like what was that like for you?
It was scary, scary for sure. In that point in my life, I didn't really know what I was going to do.
Hmm.
And we moved to Seattle for my wife's job. And so it was just a very scary time.
Hmm.
And I was like, before I left to Seattle, I think the hardest part was soaking up all the knowledge.
Hmm.
And when we talk to sellers, we talk about the ways that they can stay in their home. So, reinstating the loan modification, bankruptcy, and
Hmm.
wrapping my brain around all these ideas and exactly knowing what I'm talking about. Because I don't want to come across like you say something and then they ask a follow-up question and you're like, I don't know. So I feel
Yeah.
like for me, it's like really knowing all the points on each subject.
Hmm.
And, that might be a limiting factor or limiting belief to be like, I don't know everything, so I'm not going to call.
Yeah.
But, I just really wanted to make sure I had everything soaked up before I started doing that. So
Hmm.
that was probably the hardest part for me.
Hmm. Like kind of knowing like what to say and like what it meant and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were on the phone just like role playing back to back to back. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if they scream at me on the phone
Ah,
whenever I
wow,
get in
that feels like
touch?
so long ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like sitting in the driveway of the house just talking to you and role playing.
That was awesome. You caught on quick though. You caught on like faster than most. Definitely faster than I did. It took me a lot longer to learn some of these concepts than it took you or Cindy or Amir. So I sometimes I feel like I'm the dumbest person on our team. So I'm really thankful that
Could be true.
I'm thankful that y'all like have that ability to do that. And so like okay, you have the concepts right, but then it comes to
Yeah,
now I'm actually on the phone calling, right?
yeah,
Like was there like an anxiety for you around like making that first dial like to a homeowner, or was it like, oh, this is no big deal?
for sure. And it was the same way when I was a realtor and I called for the first time.
Mm.
There's a huge anxiety to it because people scream at you and just cuss you out, and
Hmm.
that's frightening. It is frightening,
Yeah. Now was
but
that your experience like within the first 100 calls? Like how many people actually like cussed you out?
oh no.
Yeah. And I think
Maybe one out of 100, but
yeah.
very unlikely.
I think most people would hear kind of what you do and they'd be like, I could never do that because
Yeah,
of like what you just said. It's like, it's so scary. And the
for
reality is
sure.
like, it is scary at first because sometimes what do they say? Like the devil you know is like not as scary as the one that you don't know. And it's
Yeah, that's
like
right.
so you knew being a realtor, you knew that game. You could do the whole circle method and go through that and you'd be fine. But this is something kind of new and it's scary and it's difficult. And so like if you were to give someone some advice on like how to like how did you push past that? Because you could have just been like, I can't do this. So like what did you do internally? Like what did you tell yourself? Like why did you push past it?
That's a good question. I think knowing why you're calling and then seeing like the long-term picture.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing why you're calling, meaning like, am I calling to sell these people or like do them harm? And absolutely not. I'm not calling. And those people that will scream at you and that thing that I was afraid of,
Mm-hmm.
those people think that you're trying to do that. Like you're trying to take my home from me, and I get that. So I understood their fear and I was like, I'm not trying to do that. Like if they want to stay in their house and they can, then I'll go through the options. And if
Yeah.
there is one, then I'd be happy to recommend that 100% of the time.
So
And so I think just coming from a place of truly wanting to help helped me out a lot, get through
yeah.
that fear. And then knowing the long-term outcome of this is a good way to buy deals and start a rental portfolio and gain some money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, that helped me out. Those two things for sure.
I love that. Yeah, because it's you
Yeah.
don't. Um, Sometimes I think we're scared to call people because and I think people watching this would probably resonate. Um, they don't feel like the service that they're providing is valuable enough, or they're worried that the person they're talking to won't perceive it that way. And so I think about it like if you went out to a local restaurant and you went around and you had $1 million lottery ticket that you were just going to give somebody, and you went up to them, it's like, hey, I want to give you something, and they're like, screw off, I don't want anything to do with you. You
Yeah.
would leave and you'd be like, what an idiot.
Right.
You wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like what did I just do? Because you had something valuable.
Absolutely. You're providing
So
value.
I think we can think about it the same way. It's like when you're talking to homeowners that likely need your help, whether they're in foreclosure, whether they're going through divorce, whether it's bankruptcy, probate, whatever the issue is, and you're calling them. If they don't see the value that you bring, it's like that person needs our help, and for some reason they're not willing to take it. It's like, all right, I'm
Yeah,
going to go call the next person that actually needs our help, that wants our help. You
for
know,
sure.
and that's easier said than done, but I think that you do have to have that mindset. And like you said, number two, like what are you working towards? You
Yeah.
know, like life is a journey, and you don't. I was talking with a friend today, it's like when you finally made it financially, you realize it's almost like the opposite of making it. I think like making
Mm,
it is fully finding a pathway and a journey that you're happy to walk every single day. To me, that's when
mm.
you've made it. I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
we made it. I get to work with Griffin. I get to work with Cindy. I get to work with Amir. We get to help people. We get to make good money. It's like, what else is making it? Like, is having $10 million really like you made it? Like, what if you have nothing else and you have no purpose in your life? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that version of making it, you know?
And then you'll always want the next 10 million for
Totally.
sure. And
Yeah.
just keep
Yeah.
chasing it.
100%.
And something else I would say is that's originally what got me through it, just knowing that I'm there to help. And then whenever you have those conversations where you do help
Hmm.
and you help them keep their house or they sell it to you and they're very thankful that they get to sell on their own terms rather than the bank just taking it.
Yeah.
Those conversations of them just being thankful for you is what keeps me going.
Totally.
Like when I'm having a tough time, you think of those and how you truly impacted their life, and you're like, all right,
Do you
this
have
is
a
good. I can
story
do
that
this.
comes to mind like that for you with the specific seller that we were able to help?
There's two that comes to mind. I mean, the most recent one that we just closed on this week,
Yeah.
he was, having a tough time, and at points he was just very frustrated with us because we were telling him like, look, you have to make a decision, and he was having a lot of wishful thinking. Like my boss is gonna help me reinstate this loan, and it's what 3 or 4 days. It was probably 2 days. I think 2 days before the auction, he was saying
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and he's been saying this for what 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
And after pushing him for so long, he would just get so frustrated with the fact that he has to make the decision.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be the good guys, but that can feel bad sometimes when someone's yelling at you or upset with you, even though you're looking out
Of
for their best
course.
interest.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like he ended up calling us a day before the auction,
Hmm.
as you know, and he ran out of options.
Yeah.
Like we knew it was going to happen, and
Yeah.
he just needed help, and we were able to do that for him.
Hmm.
By the end of the day, he was so thankful, and he was crying on the phone with me
Yeah.
and just telling me, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you."
That's
And
beautiful.
that is amazing. Yeah,
It's
that's
beautiful.
amazing.
That's what,
Yeah,
like, the fact that you get to do that and make really good money and learn how to build wealth at the same time. It's like, dang, where else do you get to do that? You know?
that's right.
Like,
It's very giving. It's very
yeah,
giving.
I can't think of many. Now, there are a lot of challenges for sure, too. You know, and
That's
I'm sure
right.
a lot of mistakes have been made. So, like, I guess, what do you feel like, if you could name maybe one or two early mistakes that you made when you were first calling homeowners? Like, what are some mistakes that you
Hmm.
made that you're like, like, either I wish I wouldn't have done that, or like maybe you've just learned from them and they've kind of helped you propel your acquisition
Yeah,
strategy.
I think you have to find the balance of being helpful and not pushy, but I don't really know how to word this. I guess you do have to push sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
like you do.
Yeah.
Um, you can't, like, at the end of the day, you do want to help people. You also want to make money. And if you're just trying to help people and avoid the making money part, then it can be tough.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, I was calling in North Carolina, and I think I told you this. Like, this is when I just started, and it was probably like 2 weeks later. And we grabbed lunch, and I was like, dude, this would have been a deal, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't follow up or something like that. I just missed the mark. and then she ghosted me, and I don't know what ended up happening, but
Mhm.
completely lost the deal, and that would have been my first. And I was like, dude, that would have been it. And I was so sad. Dude, second time is even worse. This hurts my soul. This one was like prime real estate.
Me too.
And I was helping this lady because her mother lived in the property. She was the owner, but her mom passed away. And this was an elder lady as well. She was like, I want to live in this property because it's a one story and I live in a two story. So I want to sell my place and move it to this one. So it hadn't gone through probate at this point, and I was helping her with probate and like connecting her with attorneys and following up every day or so.
Mhm.
And it got to a point where I was doing so much for her and she wasn't really like reciprocating. Sent her this probate attorney, followed up like next week. Hey, did you make the appointment? Ghosted.
Mm.
Next week, same thing, ghosted. And then like the week after that, I was like, hey, did you end up, making that call with the attorney and getting the process started? And she was like, nah, it was too much work, so I just ended up selling it. And I was like,
Uh,
what? So the whole time I was leading with value of like, this is what you want. Let me help you get to that point. And I never thought to be like, hey, if this ends up being too much or this or that happens, I would be happy to buy this property from you and we can make that happen easily.
dude.
And I think this property sold for like 300,000 and as is would have sold for 550
Yeah.
as is.
Yeah.
And on the market if you fix it up and sell it 750 easily. And it was
Yeah.
just
That's
so
painful.
that's like $100,000 mistake easily.
Yeah.
And that still hurts my soul. I was thinking about it yesterday, just like in my head, just thinking about it. This happened months ago, but it
Uh,
hurts. It hurts. So that's the
yeah.
mistake.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a big mistake, and I think that like putting that into um, kind of like a short summary for people on like maybe what they can take, like what you said is like it's great to lead with value, but you also
Yeah.
need to have clear direction on taking them towards like what you can actually do for them, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we do have to make profit as a
For
business.
sure.
And so like we take time to like help people, and there are a lot of times that goes unpaid, which we're fine with because like we know that the numbers play out, and if we help enough people, like we will find people that we can also help that we can make some kind of gain while doing that. Right? That's like the
Absolutely.
name
Yeah.
of the game, right? But it'd be like, an attorney that I'm working with that's trying to earn my business or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, like I'm just asking for all these things like, hey, do you know a good like doctor for my health? Do you have a good trainer? Like, could you help me write my nutrition? It's like they're not making any money from that, but they're just helping, helping, helping. And then finally, I'm like,
Right.
what I'm probably gonna end up doing is I'm gonna go to the attorney that's like actually more serious about their business, and they're just like, hey, like all I do is attorney work, but I'm the best attorney in Tennessee.
For
It's
sure.
like I'm gonna go work for
Great
that.
analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we're the same way. And so I think if we can
Yeah.
just kind of lead with direction, that's super important. But at the same time, the thing I think that is one of your strongest suits and the thing I love about you is the fact that you do lead with value. And there's a lot of people that expect people to go the direction they want them to go without bringing any upfront value. That's
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's a
Thank
mistake.
you. Yeah.
So,
I do
it's
agree.
like I think you got to find that balance, like you said.
Yeah.
Um, so I would ask you. There's a question I want to ask. I think I'm going to skip because yeah, never mind.
Dude,
So
if it's good for the podcast, fire away. Fire away.
well, I was going to ask what's the craziest story, but I think that would be best to probably have off air for
Oh,
now. So
good point. Good point.
yeah, yeah. So I think like one question I would have for you is like when it comes to like skills, right? Because people know, you can watch a YouTube video, right? And you can see like, oh, I need to say this, I need to say that. And we're talking about foreclosure, we're talking about sub two, we're talking about creative finance. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, if you're in acquisitions, you have to have skills, right?
Yeah.
You can't just know what to say. So
Yeah.
what are some skills that you feel like matter the most when it comes to being in acquisitions?
Question asking,
Mm-hmm.
your tone, and I would say treating them like a real person.
Mm.
I think a lot of people go wrong because they just want the sale and they kind of talk like a bot, like a robot, and
Yeah.
they just don't sound human and they're not relatable. You can't connect with someone. And to do good business, like you have to connect with them.
So
You
true.
have to treat them like a real human.
Yeah.
Um, and when I say tone, I used to be very monotone, and I'm trying to switch that up a little bit, put more emphasis on things that matter more. I think
Mm,
that's very important.
yeah.
For example, it's like, what would you do if you lost your house? Or
Mm,
what would you do if you lost your house? Like
hmm.
truly, like coming from the heart, what would you do?
What's the difference between
And
those two for people?
I think just slowing it down and really putting like the magnitude of the situation in your question.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
when it goes fast and kind of monotone, it's like, all right, here's another one. Here's
Hmm.
another question. But when you slow it down and put the emphasis on it, it really makes them feel like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Yes, because the tone that you use, right? Like the surface level questioning or the surface level tone that you speak with is going to provoke what? The same type
Emotion.
of answer. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
if I say, dude, like, like, how are things, man? Oh yeah, they're good.
good. Yeah, yeah,
You know, dude,
absolutely.
like, so Griffin, like, what? I mean, with you, I mean, with you going through all this and the last 3 weeks of everything with the lender, like, how are you holding up, man?
100%. Yeah,
Completely different answer.
for sure.
And that's what we would do as friends and family. So why are we scared? That doesn't have to be ingenuine or fake, and you shouldn't. If it's fake to you and you don't give a crap about them, then don't do that.
That's right.
But we do care. And so how
And
do we
that's another
show
part about
people that
just
we
being
care?
human.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Can you talk about maybe can you talk about maybe another tone? I think that's interesting. I think that's kind of a gold nugget that you just dropped. It's like having a good tone. So that is like an empathetic tone, right? It's like I'm concerned for you. So like what's another tone that you could use that in any scenario? What's a different type of tone that you find yourself using?
Um,
There's different types, right? There's empathetic, there's curious tone, there's a little bit more of a
yeah,
challenge
curious is a good
tone.
one, and that kind of feeds into question asking and having good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of slowing it down always on the sales call feels great.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting, empathetic, happy for someone when they find a solution.
Yeah.
It's always great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure.
Why is a curious tone why would you use a curious tone? Why wouldn't you just ask straight out? Like, can you kind of give an example of that, maybe?
Yeah, I think you would use it in a situation like when I said question asking, really what I meant, and something that we've been working on a lot is someone will say something and kind of just throw it out there, but you don't really know what they mean. And I think we like to assume what we know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have that curious tone and ask a follow up question to help them dive deeper into that, that's where the onion gets peeled and you start
Mm-hmm.
learning truly what's going on.
Like, let's role play for them. I'll be the seller, and I'll say something, and you can just bounce off of it. Like,
Yeah.
easy enough, no pressure. So like, um, yeah, you asked me, how have things been? Oh, dude, um, there's just been Griffin. There's just been so much going on.
What do you mean when you say so much going on?
Well, I mean, like the you know, number one, the lender is um, breathing down our necks seems like every single day they're calling me. Number one.
Mm,
Number two, I have my sister who's living in the house, and because of all the stress of the property, she's now having like multiple seizures a week.
mm,
So it's one of these things where it's like I'm trying to figure out. Number one, I want to make sure her health is okay. And number
yeah.
two, I'm worried about if the lender comes and takes the property, like what is she gonna do? Okay, right
Yeah.
there. That's just an example.
Yeah.
What did Griffin ask? Instead of
Like
saying,
in what way?
yeah, in what way? What do most sales reps do in that scenario?
They'll be like, got it. Okay. So, and then move on to the next question.
Right. You have no
Yeah.
idea what they mean, which is Griffin's point. You don't know, you can't assume anything. Remember the lady that we were talking about the one time that this is a perfect example. Where she had said something, she was like, "Man, things have just been so stressful." And we were like, "What? Sorry, was stressful? What do you mean by stress?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I mean, my boyfriend, he's been waking up every night in his sleep, and the past couple nights he's been so stressed that he couldn't keep his balance, and he fell off the bed and hit his head on the wall.
Mm,
Like, that information is extremely valuable. Not to
yeah,
use it against them and say, "Oh, I got this against you." It's not about that. It's about asking them then, well, like, that stress, like, what's that doing to you?
for
Oh
sure.
my gosh, it's killing me. Well, and how long has that been going on for? Oh, 12 months. Well, like, what happens if you don't do anything about this, though, and you continue to kind of go down this path? Oh, we can't do that. Oh, so it's time to make a change, possibly. Yes. And it's like you get them to commit to it because that's how humans change.
Yeah,
And what are we in the business
100%.
of? Kind of creating a
Change.
change of behavior.
Yeah.
Because what I mean,
And
maybe you can tell people, the audience, the psychology of some of the homeowners that we talk to. It's like they're in complete denial. Like, can you talk more maybe about that?
yeah, absolutely. They think that something's going to come up and save them at the last second.
Hmm.
And they may have an idea in their mind of what's going to take place. And, oh, Jimmy said that he's going to give me a loan for, $20,000 by tomorrow. And it's like, okay, like we can believe that and hope that that happens, but what's the reality of it?
Yeah.
That's kind of that's what a lot of people think. You'd be surprised. A lot of people think that way, of just wishful thinking and hoping something's going to happen. Wait until the very last minute
Hmm.
for them to do anything. And it's
Yeah.
honestly sad to see. But you got to break through that reality and let them see what needs to happen
And how do
and
you
help them
do
see
that?
the out. Yeah,
I,
yeah. So you kind of got to ask them like what they think would happen if that doesn't happen and how likely it is that it does happen.
mm,
So like, does Jimmy have the money in his bank account right now? No. Okay. Let's say he did. Well, did he already send it over? I mean, you have 2 days left.
mm,
And do you know how long it takes to reinstate the loan? No.
mm,
So a lot of these things that they just haven't thought of, they don't know.
yeah.
Like that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you.
No. 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 And if we genuinely care, we should ask the hard questions and we should push. Just like it would be your own brother or someone that you cared about or loved.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you say you're going to care about them, if someone's stuck in a burning house and you come up to grab their hand and you say, "I need to help you out of this building. You're going to burn alive." And they go, "No, no, I'm good." You're not going to go, "Oh, oh, my bad, dude," and just walk off. You're
Absolutely.
going to grab
Yeah,
them and pull them out.
for sure.
That's the
And it
right.
makes me think of a dude that we worked with, this month. We were
Yeah.
talking to him and he said that he was working with a company who he was paying $300 a month towards. And it's a third party company, not even his lender, but they're saying that they're going to do a loan modification with him.
Mm,
And I'm just digging into it because I've never heard of anything like this. And I'm trying to figure out if it's real or not. If it is, I'd be happy to see you do that. But just never heard of it. And I'm digging into it. And he can't give me answers. Like, I'm like, how long have you been working with him for?
mm,
What did he say, 4 or 5 months? I'm
yeah.
like, what's held him back so long? And he's like, I don't know. And just digging deeper and deeper into that, it's like he doesn't know what he's going to do. And then at the end of the day, he worked with us and decided to sell his house.
Yeah.
He had other people calling him, trying to get them to sell the house to him or to them as well.
Mm,
And he said, I have other investors interested, but ultimately my heart is telling me to go with you.
mm,
And it's truly because I believe that he could feel I wanted anything else to work out for him. And I was going through those mental gymnastics trying to help him figure out a real solution.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, like that's what matters most.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And just for context too, because like, I mean, I want to ask you one more question, just to kind of wrap this up. But like, first off, how many closings did you have this week? That's an important thing to
Three
know.
this week.
3 closings.
Yeah,
So
three
heck
this week.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Big week. 3 families that, you got to help and we got to help serve, which is
yeah,
awesome. And I think that, a lot of people will hear that and be like, "Oh man, that would be nice to even just get one. I'd love to just get my first one." And what you don't see behind the scenes is Griffin has worked for months to build up some of these leads and pipeline, right? So it doesn't all just happen in one day, right? But these things
yeah,
stack up over time, and more importantly, the skills stack up over time.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
money gets taxed. Like I had to speak with my CPA today. Taxes suck, but gaining skills doesn't get taxed.
Yeah,
Knowledge
that's
doesn't
right.
get taxed, right? And so it's
Absolutely.
like if you can stack those things up, man, that's something like no one can take any of that, any of that from you. And so
Yeah,
I guess like last question for you would be like for anybody that's wanting to, I guess like get started investing in real estate. Maybe they've been on the sidelines for a long time. There's
yeah.
people that think about this for years and don't do it, right? And so for those people, like, what advice would you give them to just kind of get started, like just to get off the couch and just get rolling?
I would say you just got to put in the action. You got to start somewhere. Like
Hmm.
even for my sake, you said I've been, acquiring skills over a few months for this specifically, and I definitely have. But my cold calling skills have been generated over years since I
Yeah,
began as a realtor.
yeah.
Like being a realtor ultimately wasn't something that I was passionate about, wasn't something that I ended up sticking with for a long time, but it led me to that open house where I met the dude and learned about creative finance and then went on Facebook and met you. So I think if you get started with something, eventually you'll find the path.
Hmm.
And those skills, even though, I made a little bit of money as a realtor, but not much by any means,
Yeah.
even though I didn't financially benefit too much, I learned a lot of skills that I could then translate over. And
Hmm.
it led me to the path that I'm happy with. I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
So I
I
would
love
say
that.
get started, get over that hump. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
Just do
it.
it. What's going to change?
Absolutely.
And if you don't do something in 2026 to 2027, why would 2027 through 2028 be any different?
That's right. Yeah. Got
I've
to
had
do
I've had
something.
to swallow that pill like this year of like, man, if I don't start paying for marketing for the team for inbound, it's like we're never gonna get there.
For sure.
Got to start. You have to just do
Got to
it.
take action.
You have to, and
Got
then you
to.
figure it out. There's no death in this. Like you don't lose the video game and you're over. It's like
Yeah.
you keep playing over and over, And
Yeah.
so like where can people find you on like social media or like reach you if they wanna do deals with you or maybe talk about doing some lending with you on some rentals or flips?
Absolutely. You could reach out to my Facebook, Griffin Hummel,
Hmm.
or you can hit my phone, 615-426-9026.
Hey,
Give me
there
a
you
call.
go.
Let's
Putting the
do some
cell
deals.
on. Okay. Also for anybody watching this and you want to learn more about creative finance, we have a school community that we run where we talk about all things creative finance and how to help people that are like making cash offers that have no idea where to go because their offers are not getting accepted. Sellers want way too high of a price, and they don't know how to utilize creative finance to get those deals under contract. They're just throwing away leads, right? So if you want to learn how to do that, we'll have the link to the school community in the description, and you can also connect with Griffin and I on the school community. Just shoot us a DM. Shoot both of us a DM. Just reach out to both of us and let's start building relationships, building community. Thanks for
That's
watching
right.
the video, Griffin. Anything else you want to say?
No, thank y'all for watching. Thanks for having me, Evan.
Absolutely. All right. Thank y'all.